Good morning, relatives. While we're waiting for everyone to get in and get settled, now's a great time to grab anything you need to get comfortable. Maybe that's a glass of water or a cup of tea or coffee. Also, if you would like to smudge with me, now's a good time to grab those items as well as we begin to, oops, ignite the healing within. For relatives who are out there who don't have smudge at home, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to send some healing and positive energy your way. And good morning, everybody. Sending some cleansing energy your way, relatives. I hope you're all doing well today. It's the beginning of the week. Aloha, kakayaka, good morning. My name is Malia, and I'm a community healer here at the HIR Wellness Institute. We are a nonprofit organization that focuses on the mental health and wellness of our relatives of Turtle Island, as well as other Indigenous and underserved communities, and also victims of crime. You can join us here every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. We will always breathe. We will always stretch. We will explore ways to integrate wellness and self-care into our daily lives. And we will always honor our cultural traditions, our customs, our ancestry, our strength, and our resilience. So thank you so much for joining me this morning. I'd like to take a moment to recognize our HIR Wellness team members that are here with us. We have our Community Engagement and Indigenous Affairs Director, Jamie Kellycutt. Good morning, Jamie. Pleasure as always. Honor to be here to start the day with you. And also our occupational therapist, Claudia Myers-Smith. Good morning, Claudia. Same to you. Such a pleasure to start the day with you. We also have our relatives. Good morning, Heather. I hope you're doing well. I miss you. Great to see your name pop up here. Good morning, Mom, Sandra, aloha, kakahiaka. And to all our relatives out there, I wish you a very good morning. Welcome. This is a place for you, a safe place to practice community activated medicine, which has been developed by our founder, Leah Denny. That means the people are the medicine. And right here, right now, together, we are practicing moments of being able to lean into each other for wellness, self-care, for healing, for camaraderie, for brother and sisterhood. We can share our insight, we can ask questions, we can comment, we can talk about our customs and ancestral knowledge, and you never know who's out there who might need to hear just what it is that you have to say. It can be very helpful for others. And if you want to comment and you're new, all you have to do is like and follow this page. When you like and follow the page, it allows about 15 minutes before you can comment, and that's so that it's safe from spam. So once you like and follow the page, 15 minutes, and then you're ready to go. I would like to do a check-in this morning and see how everyone is doing. How are you doing today, relatives? I'll give you a moment to respond. I have something interesting. I'm doing good today, but oddly enough, since last weekend, I've been falling asleep really easy, which would seem like a really good thing, and it is a good thing. But for me, it's really strange because I've always had trouble sleeping for at least the last couple of years. I kind of am a night owl, and I tend to be like a person who wakes up throughout the night. So interestingly enough, since last week, middle of last week, end of last week, I've been falling asleep really, really easily, which is awesome because I've been getting a good night's sleep, but it makes me wonder, like, what have I been changing in my day that is, or my schedule or my habits, my daily routine that's allowing me to sleep easy. It makes me wonder if perhaps doing many months of deep breathing has just allowed me to just come back to my center and be grounded enough that now sleeping is easy. I'm not sure though. So, anyways, that's an interesting thing. But do let us know how you're feeling today, relatives. Good morning, Nina. I see you. And Teresa, good morning to you too. I hope you all are doing well today. Yeah, so checking in with everyone. And while you're sharing, if you do want to share in the comments how you're doing today, and we can honor that, whether you're having a good day, good morning, Marissa, or a bad day, it's okay. I want to remind our relatives out there, I hope that you're doing well. But if you're not, it's all right. As I will always say, it's okay not to be okay. Our lives, day by day, step by step, they ebb and flow, just like the moon and just like the tides. Sometimes we have good days, and sometimes we have not so good days. And for our relatives out there who are having a not so good day, do reach out to someone that you can talk to, someone that you trust. Good morning, Sherry. Maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's right here on this page, right here on this video. So we recognize at the HIR Wellness Institute, sometimes our strength, sometimes our resilience means that we can recognize when we need to lean into others for support. We can't do this alone. We can't walk our path of wellness by ourselves all the time. And for our relatives out there, if you want someone to talk to, you can also call our Cares Warm line. It's open every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. You can call or you can text and you'll get a return call within 24 hours. With our Cares counselors that you'll be connected to, you can talk to them, let them know what's on your mind. Maybe you're anxious, maybe you're worried, maybe you're mad or sad or unsure. Our Cares counselors will hold space for you. You will be heard and you will be respected. They can provide you with that emotional support and also with resources that may be helpful for you. There is no reason to be ashamed. There is no reason to feel alone when you call. There's no stigma here. We aren't judging you. I always say if I weren't here at the HIR Wellness as part of the team, I would be calling the HIR Wellness team. I would be calling for emotional support. So it's okay. Claudia says you evolved. Claudia, I hope that's why I'm sleeping. Like I'm sleeping normally. It's very strange. Claudia, I go to sleep. I fall asleep sometimes on accident at like 9 or 10 p.m. and I sleep through the night, which is so strange for me. Normally I would wake up a half a dozen times to use the restroom. I'd be forcing myself to go to sleep at around 12. I would maybe finally get to bed by 2 a.m. So very interesting thing happening in life. Barbara, good morning. Barbara is also part of our HIR Wellness team. So good to see you, Barbara. Glad to see you here, and I hope you're doing well. Jamie says, I'm doing pretty good today. Love being here with you all. Absolutely. All right, relatives, before we get into our deep breathing, the moon phase that we're in today, and also positive affirmations, I do want to talk a little bit about my tea. Now, relatives out there, for those who are where we spend time together on these videos, you know I love my gingeric, that's what I should call it, my ginger and turmeric tea. I have it here today. Terrell, I see you out there. Good morning. I want to talk a little bit more about the health benefits of ginger. There is a wonderful sort of quick view website that I go to. It's called healthline.com. I like it because when they talk about the health benefits of things, they always link research to every statement that they made. They also have every article medically reviewed by a doctor or a registered nurse. Most of the times, there are MDs who are reviewing the research and the articles. In this case, what are the health benefits of ginger tea has been reviewed by an RN. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about specifically what ginger is good for. Remember, with my ginger tea, I take fresh ginger root. You can find it at just about any grocery store. I peel it, coin slice it, and boil it. I don't measure, I just fill a pot with water, throw a bunch of coin slices in there, and I reuse those same roots over and over again for up to 3 to 5 pots of tea. Makes it easy for me. I just leave the roots on the stove when the water's empty every morning or every night. I fill the pot with water and I reboil until the flavor goes. Every pot of tea, even if you're using the same roots, has its own different characteristics. Sometimes they're spicier, sometimes they're a rich golden brown color, sometimes they're a little bit lighter in color, but the flavors change all the time. It's complex, and that's part of what I love about this tea. But most of us, when we think about ginger tea, we think about helping with digestion and with nausea. I know that when I was pregnant with my son, that was 12 years ago, ginger tea for me was one of the only ways that I could keep anything down, including water. I could not even keep water down. So I would often peel ginger and just inhale it. Like I would keep a root in my pocket and just smell the root all day long and drink the tea. Um, but it really does help with nausea for a few reasons. Nausea by pregnancy, nausea through chemotherapy or surgery. And remember, relatives, anytime you take a medicine, whether that be over the counter, whether that be prescription, whether that be natural medicines out there, our herbs, our roots, our flowers, our seeds, even natural things can be very potent. And for me, I've come to find especially they can be very potent. So always do speak to a physician or a doctor or a medical professional that you trust, particularly if you already are taking um, um, prescription drugs or if you have any health concerns. And all these things I found work really well for me with ginger, but do trust yourself, trust your body, and definitely talking to your health professionals can help you decide what's right for you. Ginger, there's also been research that suggests ginger's consumption can be predictive against heart disease. The herb is very pungent, but it does help with lowering blood pressure. It can help with preventing blood clots, relieving heartburn, lowering cholesterol, and even improving blood circulation. And I've come to find that even though ginger does not have caffeine, it really does help revitalize me in the morning. It helps to keep me awake. And I think it has a lot to do with the circulation effects, the benefits that it has. Um, it's always also very good for weight and blood sugar control. So there's research here that's linked in a 2012 study from Columbia University that studied overweight men and found that ginger tea, can increase feelings of fullness and reduced hunger. So the research does suggest that ginger may be effective in managing obesity, and also rat studies as well suggest that ginger may help prevent obesity-related complications. It may also help improve your blood sugar control. It can help with insulin and people with type 2 diabetes. Again, there's more research linked here at healthline.com. Um, pain relief. Now this is interesting. The same as turmeric. Honestly, I'm drinking ginger and turmeric tea, but sometimes I do just turmeric, sometimes I just do ginger. It depends what I have on hand at home. Um, and it shows that ginger can help with inflammation, and it has been used in this way for centuries. Um, I need some ginger tea here. But several studies have shown that it can help relieve pain from osteoarthritis of the knee. It can also help to alleviate headaches, menstrual cramps, sore muscles, and other types of pain. It's also good for immune support, so we can read on more about that. And that's a whole lot of things that ginger does. Um, I drink it every day. It is part of my wellness routine. As long as I have it, I drink it. Same thing with turmeric. Turmeric is excellent for inflammation too. And feel free to check out yesterday's video if you want to learn more about turmeric root. Terrell says, good morning, everyone. I have some sore joints this morning, but I am here looking forward to a good day, and I have my turmeric tea. Excellent, Terrell. As I know you know, for the joints, and as we just heard in this research, that ginger is excellent for inflammation, as is turmeric. So that's a great thing to drink. Also, if you have joint inflammation, it's also worth trying to drink some pure, unsweetened cherry juice. So if you have tart cherry juice or black cherry juice, you can find it at the grocery store. It's really, really good for the joints. It's also good if you have gout. I drink cherry juice often. It tastes fantastic mixed with chocolate milk if you can do, if you're able to do dairy. But if you add the dairy to it, dairy can also inflame. So I more drink it as dessert. But yeah, cherry juice on its own is excellent for the joints. Claudia says she's doing good today. This is my kind of weather. I live like Jamie to start my day with all of you. Thank you so much, Claudia, for sharing. Relatives, every time we start our morning this way, that is one step that we took. And sometimes they seem very seemingly small, these steps of wellness. But if you spend time here with us in the morning, and then you have your cup of tea or whatever your morning elixir is, and then we do some deep breathing, we do some positive self-care, we do some gratitude. Next thing you know, you've just climbed many steps towards your wellness in a day. I want to ask you after we deep breathe, and I'll give you time to think about it. What is it that you're going to do if you care to share with us today, relatives? What are you going to do today for your wellness? You're already here doing this. We're about to deep breathe. Wellness can look a lot of ways. Sometimes they're enjoyable, sometimes they're a little bit harder. It can look like a walk. It can look like taking your vitamins. It can look like even recognizing that maybe you're exhausted today, and maybe your day involves a nap. Maybe your day involves a hot bath. Maybe your day involves being honest with somebody that you love and care about. It can look a lot of ways, relatives, so think about that. What are we going to do in our days today? And our steps of wellness and self-care. We're going to go into our deep breathing now. You can sit, lay, or recline however you feel comfortable. We're going to go ahead and do some heart breathing. So I'm going to put my left hand over my heart and then my right hand on top. We're going to breathe in through the nose for a count of 4. We're going to exhale through the mouth for a count of 6. The deep breathing is excellent, particularly if your mind... I always talk about this. Sometimes I feel like I'm just a big head, like a big thought. It's almost like I get lost in my thoughts. And sometimes my mind can just spin in these circles of maybe worry or anxiety or any of these feelings that don't feel like they're serving you. And when you get those feelings in your mind, it's a great time to go to that deep breathing. It can really help bring us back to our center and dissolve those worries, at least for the time being. The more often we deep breathe, the more often we can be centered and grounded. So again, left hand over the heart, right hand over the top. As we breathe in through the nose for that count of 4, we're going to go ahead and allow that positive healing energy to come through our nose, send it to the heart. And as you breathe in, you can ask the Creator, or you can just bring it in your own way, to bring in some healing, loving energy. And as you exhale out, there's 2 things you can do. One, you can breathe out that positive, loving energy that you have within you, out to the universe, out towards people, out to the relatives or ones that you love. Another thing that you can do is, if you feel like there's some things in there that need to come out, they may feel like they're negative in some way or not serving you, you can exhale that energy out. You can let it go. You ready, relatives? Here we go. You can close your eyes if you want. Deep inhale. Let that belly expand. And exhale. Deep inhale. And exhale. Breathing in for 4 through the nose. Let the belly expand. That healing positive energy. And exhale out. Deep inhale through the nose. And exhale. One more deep breath. And exhale. Let's continue to deep breathe as we roll those shoulders. As we exhale now, we can let go of any of that tension or anxiety that we're holding in our body. I invite you right now to think about, is there any areas in your body that are experiencing tension or pain? Release that with the breath. Inhale as we reach out. You might yawn here. Yeah, there's a yawn. Bringing one arm across, rolling out that wrist. Deep inhale. And exhale, bringing that arm across, rolling out that wrist. Deep inhale. As we extend that arm out in front of us, gently pushing down those fingertips, stretching the forearms and wrist here. If you don't like that, just roll the wrist here, or you can always choose a stretch that feels good for you. Any stretch is fine. Deep inhale. Clasping those fingers, pushing the palms out, reaching out towards the ceiling, palms towards the ceiling. Oh, lovely side bend. It's making me yawn some more. Let's go ahead and push down on the elbow, stretching the tricep. Deep inhale. And pushing down. Let's finish with some neck stretches here, looking side to center. You might hear a little snap, crackle, or pop. That's okay as long as it feels okay. I tend to hear it and not feel it. The stretches feel good for me. Double tapping that ear towards the shoulder. And the chin from shoulder to shoulder, keeping it in the front. Looking down towards the floor and gently up towards the ceiling, stretching that neck. How'd that feel, relatives? It's interesting because wellness and self-care, the beauty of it is that we can choose what feels right for us. And I think of it in a 3-way approach. We have the body, we have the mind, and we have the spirit. And any one of these ways we can integrate wellness and self-care practices into our daily lives. For me, the deep breathing really does help me physically. It does slow my heart rate. It calms my mind. It brings me back to my center. Interestingly, what I found about deep breathing is it also helps me with my heart and with my spirit. I believe it's because it allows that stillness and those moments of reflection, which really does help to open up and expand the abilities to hear what it is that we need intuitively. We can allow our heart to speak more than having the brain take over and do all the talking. It allows the brain to be still, and then that part of our body can come out. The mind for me tends to be more active. So I do find that the deep breathing helps bring out those other aspects of my wellness. It's interesting how interconnected all of it really is. I want to talk about the lunar phase that we're in according to my ancestral teachings, which is the native Hawaiian lunar calendar, otherwise known as Kealo Okamahina. And relatives, I share this knowledge with you very humbly. You do not, if this knowledge that I share doesn't, if it's not resonating with you, that is okay. I encourage everyone to find, how they connect to spirit. It may or may not be in lunar phases. It might be a lunar phase, but it might be your own ancestral teachings. But this is definitely a moment to be able to reflect on whatever that is for you and however you connect to spirit. According to the lunar calendar today, we are in the moon phase that we call Ole Pau. And this is a really cool day, actually. I'll talk a little bit about it. Ole Pau means we are in the last day of the cycle of the absence of Ku. And Ku is one of our four major Hawaiian gods who is about discipline, sacrifice, productivity, strength. And because we're in the absence of Ku days, that means that the last few days were days of reflection, days of rest, days maybe of planning as opposed to doing. And also what's interesting about this day in the lunar cycle, there's a different moon for every day of the month. We are ending our the phase that we call Ho'o Nui, or the growing moon phase. So today is the last day of that phase. It is a day, again, if you're fishing, it's a poor fishing day. If you're farming or gardening, it's not a productive planting day. These are better known as preparation days. Or planning days. But tomorrow we get into a new phase, and that new phase is called the poi poi phase, or the full moon phase. So tomorrow we enter into that full moon phase, and that's when things change. It's going to be tomorrow and the following handful of days, the rest of the week and into next week, will be good days for productivity. It will be good days for fishing, for planting. If you're not a gardener or a fisherman, starting tomorrow, it's going to be days to start planting those seeds in the mind, in the heart, or in the spirit. And if you're searching for things, like fishing for things, it's a good time where you can focus on being able to receive those gifts. That being said, today is a good day to really focus on what your intentions will be moving into that productive phase starting tomorrow. Maybe that means wrapping up projects. Maybe that means you might want a final day of rest. Maybe that means you have a little bit of planning that you want to do if you're going to kick off into that phase of productivity for the following days, for the remainder of the week and into next week. All right, relatives. We have our positive affirmations for the day. These books are shared with us courtesy of our occupational therapist, Claudia Smith. Native Wisdom for White Minds by Ann Wilson Schaaf. Claudia, look at it. You probably know this, but the book pages, I know, Claudia, you put some love in this book because There's so many pages. The binding is coming loose. That's how much love there is on this book. Okay, so today is titled Warning. So they said we must have a meeting. We must start with a prayer. Offer it to Mother Earth and Father Sun, and to the four directions. Call on all the forces to direct us, because from now on, we will have to face many problems. This is by Thomas Ban Kyaya and Hopi Elder, American Indian. I hear this so often from Native people. The elders are sending messengers, often reluctant ones such as Thomas Ban Kyaya, to inform Western culture of the meaning of their warning prophecies. Prophecies are not foreign to modern culture. We have a history of them in our religious heritage. However, I do find it curious that Native people, who until quite recently had no contact with outsiders, are the ones being called to make their knowledge and ancient prophecies known to the world. We try to categorize these concerns as ecological. This means that since we know about ecological issues, pollution, the hole in the ozone layer, toxic waste, and so on, we can turn the problem over to scientists, then continue to behave as we have been. My perception is that the ecological crisis is only a symptom of the global spiritual crisis that our Native family is trying to call to our attention. It won't hurt to listen. What do you think, relatives? This page today really speaks out to me. This is sort of at the heart of where I'm at in my spiritual journey every day. I truly believe that when we are in balance with nature, we do become in balance with our spirits. I especially feel this as a Native Hawaiian woman. My spirituality is nature. I look to nature for answers. I look to nature for peace and for healing. I feel that personally, when we see these struggles in nature, toxicity, pollution, global warming, excessive use of plastic, these kinds of things, they do manifest as ecological in our Western world. But I also, for me, take in consideration what they can do to the spirit, what they can do to our natural systems and our cycles. It can even bring us to a point of spiritual exile because we are so disconnected from Mother Earth that feeds us. So these are my personal opinions on it. And so for me, the way that I practice self-care and wellness is by reflecting on these things. Reflecting and honoring these cycles helps me in my spiritual acts of self-care and wellness. By honoring Mother Earth, by taking moments through the day to practice gratitude for the things like the medicine she gives us, for example, in our teas or in our smudge, in our food, in our water. And for me, I found that very helpful. The Hawaiians, we have a term that we call malama aina, or aloha aina, which means care for the land or love the land. Because as we honor these systems and we protect these systems, the land will give us the same. They will protect us and take care of us too. Okay, one more positive affirmation. We have another book. The tea's tasting so good this morning. Every morning, really. So, by Melody Beatty, we have Journey to the Heart, Daily Meditations on the Path to Freeing Your Soul. Again, we're going to go here to July 28th. Be vulnerable with yourself. As we go through our days, we meet many people. We learn it's safe to be vulnerable with some, not so safe or vulnerable or wise to be vulnerable with others. But there's one person it's always safe to be vulnerable with: yourself. Share your deepest secrets with yourself. Whether you rise early in the morning and write your thoughts in a journal, or take a few moments throughout the day to bring your deepest secrets to consciousness, you need to be clear, straight, and honest with yourself. Harboring secrets, ducking, dodging, and hiding from the truth will slow you down. It will block the pathway to your heart. It can even stop cold if you get enough secrets tucked away. Take time each day to recognize what you think, what you feel. You don't have to act. The sheer acts of recognition, honesty, and acceptance are all that are necessary to keep you moving, growing, and going forward. Be as vulnerable as you safely can with those you meet along the way, but always be vulnerable with yourself. Deep breathing is a great way if you really want to start discovering what's going on inside your thoughts, inside your feelings and your emotions. As we begin to still our minds through the deep breathing, it does allow our heart and our spirit to speak to us a little bit more clearly. And as you continue to deep breathe throughout the day, the weeks, the month, or even the year, you'll come to notice that you may have a sense of clarity about what it is that you want and about what it is that does and doesn't serve you. Moments of self-care, moments of radical compassion and radical care for yourself and for others. Moments of gratitude can all awaken these moments of honesty within yourself. And being vulnerable allows you to see maybe the pain that is there. It can allow you to recognize it, to honor it for what it is, and those can be great steps in helping to release it. Terrell says, being vulnerable is hard for me. I'm learning to share more, but I'm very cautious. Thanks for sharing that, Terrell. And I think myself and our relatives, many of our relatives and team members here, understand that. Being vulnerable with ourselves is a great start. And also being vulnerable with people that you really trust. I know myself, Jamie, many of our relatives here, many of our HIR Wellness team members, being able to be honest and open with somebody that you care about and that you trust, even when the conversation isn't necessarily easy, can really help to nurture yourself, to nurture your needs, and it can also help to nurture the relationships that you have with people that you value. But that vulnerability, you do need to be cautious, because you really want to feel okay, you want to be able to trust that. But I do like how the author of this book says that being vulnerable with ourselves is very important. Jamie says, today's elder meditation: a good heart and a good mind, those are what you need to be a chief. This is by Louis Farmer Onondaga. The combination of heart and mind is very powerful. The medicine wheel teaches that two worlds exist: the seen and the unseen. The seen world is the physical. The unseen is the spiritual. Both of the worlds are necessary to discover true reality. The seen world is easiest seen by the male side. The unseen is easiest seen by the female side. The heart is the unseen, and the mind is the scene. Blessed is the leader or person who has developed the heart and the mind. Truly, the person is of tremendous value to the Creator and the people. My Great Spirit, help me this day to develop both my female side and my male side. Let me know all the feelings of each. Let me develop and grow my intuition and my mind. Let my development only serve you. The meditations are copyright of Koya's Publishing and also can be found in the book Meditations with Native American Elders, The Four Seasons at koyaspublishing.com. Beautiful, Jamie. I love when you share these. Thank you so much. The seen and the unseen. We can nurture with moments of self-care and wellness, the small things that we do every day, seemingly small. It can help clear the mind. It can help also to open up the spirit. Claudia says, I like that you don't have to do anything other than acknowledging the truth to yourself. Thank you, Claudia. Very important point. Yeah, that's so true. You don't have to do any of that, right? You can keep that to yourself. Truth to yourself is the utmost importance. That's the part that truly matters. So thank you, Claudia. Jamie says, thank you for sharing, Terrell. Vulnerability takes time. We completely can relate to that. We have been taught that it is beautiful to be vulnerable. I have found for myself that my healing has come when I am being vulnerable. Thank you, Jamie. I think that's because so often the things that we fear are the things that we hurt. We want to hide or protect. And so because they become closed off, we don't want people to see that part of us. They become closed off and they kind of get locked away somewhere. So when we are allowing those pains or those feels to open up and to be released, it feels vulnerable because we've spent a lot of time hiding them so that either we don't have to cope with them or we don't have to let people see what we can perceive as those ugly or weak parts of us. So when we breathe, when we practice moments of self-care, when we allow ourselves to be honest with ourselves, all these things, physically, mentally, or spiritually, they can open up and we can allow that release. It may not happen right away. It can take maybe years, maybe a lifetime, but we can allow that to happen and we can release those things when the time is right. I want to say mahalo nui loa. Thank you very much, everyone out there, HIR Wellness team members and relatives. It truly is amazing, and I want to express my gratitude for us practicing this community activated medicines every 8 a.m. Monday through Friday morning. I believe, relatives, that you're truly helping others when you open up. I hope that you feel in your heart that it's helping you too. I hope that you feel that throughout your day and in your mind and in your spirit. Malama ponoi kokino. Kokino, your body. Malama, take good care. Malama pono, the righteous care of your body. Aloha nui. Huge, big love to you all. Before we go, relatives, if you haven't yet, please do take a moment to click on this community survey linked on this video. It is completely anonymous. It asks just a few questions, but the purpose of the survey is really to help us understand how to best serve you, our relatives. That's what we're passionate about here at the HIR Wellness Institute. Ahui ho aku no. I'll see you later. And take care, everyone. See you tomorrow, 8 a.m. Aloha.